You're about to learn my proven system to achieving top 1% confidence and self-esteem. My name is Lucio Buffalmano. I'm the founder of The Power Moves, the #1 most trafficked website on power in the world. With our course Power University, we helped more than 2,000 men becoming life winners, and they increased their confidence by more than 700%. We measured those results, and you don't need to be tall, handsome, or muscular. I'm the perfect example because I'm none of that, and my high confidence and self-esteem got me status, promotions, lots of dates, and most of all, make me feel great about myself. If I can do it, you can do it, and I'm gonna show you exactly how. It all starts with the pyramid of confidence. I'm smiling because I know it looks super complex, but don't worry, it's a lot simpler than it looks, and I'm gonna explain you exactly how it works. On the left side here, we have everything that stands in the way of your confidence and self-esteem. On the right side, we have all the exercises that you can do to improve confidence and self-esteem, and I'm gonna show you all of them. There are 6 layers, starting from the most subconscious to the most conscious one. Most of the advice available usually cluster around the more subconscious level, and a good chunk of that advice is actually good. However, the issue is that usually they tackle 1 or 2 layers at most, and to achieve top 10%, you need all layers, ideally starting from the bottom. The bottom indeed tackles the more foundational self-esteem, and the top layers instead concern more the conscious level confidence. Ideally, as we said, you want to start from the bottom, so let's do just that. Subconscious level. The facets of self-esteem at the subconscious level include self-acceptance, which at the higher level becomes self-love, self-trust, self-respect. There are a few more, but these are the main foundational ones. What stands in the way here are items such as conditioning, such as the environment you grew up in. Guys, it works like this. God bless our parents, God bless my parents, your parents, but top 10% means that 90% of people are not there. So the chances that we didn't get the perfect environment for top 10% self-esteem are, well, 90%. And the chances that we didn't get top 1% are 99%. Unluckily, our parents, they weren't enough for us to reach the top. In some cases, that conditioning not only didn't get you to the top 10%, but may have planted in your brain seeds that keep you stuck at the bottom. Some other issues at this level also include toxic core beliefs, toxic shame. For example, some people feel ashamed not just of being themselves, but of being part of the human race. Another big one is attachment styles, especially the anxious attachment style. In very simple words, if you're an anxious attachment, it means that you never trust the people closest to you to love you and like you. So you're always seeking confirmation of that. Then not only undermines your self-esteem, but also pushes people away, because it's a lot of micro behaviors where you are chasing others. It's especially bad for men because not only it undermines your self-esteem, but also destroys attraction. Other items that we can have traumas, but not everybody has traumas, so don't jump to conclusions you have traumas, because they would undermine your self-esteem even more. Approval seeking, this is a big one, and it's part of emotional power dynamics. On the Power Moves, we call this judge power dynamics. In simpler words, it means that you seek someone's approval, and it works like this. As long as you seek someone's approval, you are dependent on them for your self-esteem. Anytime they do not approve of you, you lose self-esteem. Even when they approve of you, still, you are relinquishing your own power to others. Then we have other items such as helplessness and many more. However, for a very quick overview, this shall suffice, and now let's see what you can do about them. There are many items. Let's start with the more dubious ones. Subliminals. Subliminals is a popular approach where you listen to audios that are supposedly improving your self-esteem while you're asleep or while you're meditating or relaxing. I'm not even gonna say they don't work. However, the scientific evidence is lacking, and I've also met and spoken to many guys who use subliminals. How can I say in a respectful way? I have not seen any improvement in their self-esteem. So, I'm not even gonna say don't do them, try anything. However, I will not start with those. Another popular approach, especially a few years ago, was what I would call ego destruction. There was especially a popular book, I don't want to name it, but the idea was that your ego stands in the way of your flourishing, of your self-development, and you need to attack it. So some people took it to an extreme and ego became the enemy. There, I say the book title. The book is actually good. The idea itself is also valid for many people because yes, ego can stand in the way. However, destroying your ego is not realistic nor good for you. Also because there are better opportunities. Rather than destroying or thinking of your ego as the enemy, think of it as a tool that you can use. Improve your ego and instead of attacking it, recruit your ego. It's better to recruit something and make it work for you than attacking it and making an enemy. And that is very possible, and we'll explain some ways to do that. Some other good approaches here are compassion, which in simpler words means treating yourself with kindness. And here I want to raise the first red flag. And this concerns the way that some men push themselves. I've been guilty of this many times for many years. I still do it sometimes, and it works like this. When you need to push yourself, you tell yourself, you go for it, pussy. You dumbass. You can do it. Don't be a fucking bitch. Stuff like that. You know, it can be helpful to give you a boost. However, it can undermine your self-esteem as well. Also because you don't need that type of boost with negative self-talk. You can use something that is equally boosting in the short term, but more supportive of your self-esteem. For example, you the man, go for it. Show it to yourself. Show it to them. You can do it. Remember why you started. Keep going. Earn your own approval. You go for it. Stuff like that, it can give you the same motivation in the short term while being supportive of your self-esteem. Now, this is especially good for beginners and intermediate. As we shall see, when you are more advanced, when you internalize the beliefs, the mindset, and the subconscious of a high self-esteem man, it does not hurt you to push yourself in a more aggressive self-talk. At that advanced level, you can call yourself a pussy as much as you want, and you're gonna be okay. However, for more beginners, avoid aggressive self-talk. Use more compassionate one. We also have meditation, mindfulness. Those are all have been proven to work very good. And then we have therapy, which can be very good, especially for some guys. There will be a lot here to say, but let me raise just one single warning. Therapy can be good, not for everybody, so don't run to therapy necessarily. However, there is a big difference between therapy and therapist. Therapy can be good. Therapist delivering it, question mark. First thing, remember, therapists are human beings. This means that they are on a bell curve. Most of them are average, so they're not top 10% confidence or self-esteem. Many of them are poor therapists, poor men, poor people. Some of them are great, but it's on you to find a great one. Furthermore, even for the good ones, there are some conflicts of interest. What are those? Obviously, it's better for them to keep you on therapy for a little bit longer. And you know, everybody has a little bit of an ego, so everybody enjoys when you look up to them and when you're inferior to them. When you reach the top 10%, you're not gonna look up to anybody. You're not gonna think the therapist is better than you or high power than you, or that they can teach you everything. And many therapists don't want that. So it's better for them to keep you lower down. Again, great therapists may not do this, but many do. So you need to be aware. Quick parenthesis. Anyway, let's move on to the mindsets, beliefs, and identities. These are what create your most recurrent thoughts and feelings. It's items such as locus of control, for example. People with an external locus of control think that what happens to them depends on external circumstances. They do not have much of a say in changing the environment and what happens to them. Obviously, that's not good for self-esteem. It's not good for your recurrent thoughts. It's not good for you in general, not even for what you're gonna achieve in life. Another popular mindset these days is growth versus fixed mindset. People with a fixed mindset tend to think that the trait that they have, the skills that they have, they are inborn and they cannot be changed. So when these people fail at anything, they feel bad about themselves because they think it's them who are failures rather than their skills that need to be improved. They feel bad about themselves, they are afraid of trying new things, they don't know why, and it stems in the mindsets. Other issues here can be victimhood, pessimism versus optimism, fragile identities and weak identities, and this is something I want to quickly talk about. Now, there are some identities, guys, that are strong, make you feel strong, but are fragile. There are many of them, but I'll just pick one that's very popular in the manosphere, and I'm gonna explain why. It's the idea of being strong or of growing strong, especially physically. Now, what's wrong with that? Nothing. Be strong, don't be weak. Absolutely, be even stronger. However, if becoming stronger becomes your identity and you build your self-esteem on it, that's fragile and you set yourself up for failure. Why? Think about it. You at 80 years old is not going to be as strong or as athletic as you at 20 or 30. That's a given. So as you grow older and you cannot get stronger or you may get weaker, then you may lose self-esteem and confidence. Me personally, I want to be as confident, as high self-esteem, and feeling as good about myself as 80 than I am now than when I was at 20. As a matter of fact, I want to be even more confident and higher self-esteem, and I will want the same for you. This is why I say be careful with the identities that you pick. It's not even about age. Guys, we are humans, we can get sick. You may get cancer one day. You lose strength, you cannot go to the gym, and then you lose your self-esteem and confidence exactly when you need it the most. So be careful, be careful. This is why the exercises that I like the most here are about picking and internalizing identities that are, yes, strong, however, not fragile. Ideally anti-fragile, such as they get stronger when you get weaker. So you get stronger when the going gets tough. Other popular exercises here can be affirmations. Affirmations work better than subliminals. They are more backed by research, and also from experience, I can say that you can get a little bit of a boost with them and it works. However, they are a lot more short-term, and personally, I can say that they work better for beginners. Once you're more advanced, you're not gonna need any affirmation. This is why, personally, yes, if you feel the need, do them. However, my favorite approach is always to go deeper, and then you can save time with affirmations. Once you reach a high level, affirmations frankly will sound stupid to you. Other good exercises here include challenging weak belief, installing new beliefs, and this is an approach that sometimes is called cognitive restructuring. It works great, and as I say, developing strong but anti-fragile identities and mindsets. Speaking of which, let's move to the next level, mental states. Mental states, in simple words, is what populates your brain, especially what populates your brain the most often, including thoughts and feelings about the self and about the world. Some issues that can stand in the way of flourishing and high self-esteem here include rumination, which is thinking about past events, especially past failures, defeatist thoughts, feelings of inadequacy, imposter syndromes, various fears, etc., etc. When it comes to exercises, luckily there are a lot of well-proven exercises here. For example, Ramped by Albert Ellis. By the way, the guy was a freaking genius. I love him. One of the most underrated psychologists of all time, in my humble opinion. CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy. Positive psychology. This is also a bit similar to NLP, which was very popular a few years ago, but skip it. There are some good ideas, but positive psychology is better. There are a few very good books here by Martin Seligman, for example. Especially good are the exercises that address explanatory style, which help with pessimism. And then if I can give you two very quick practical tips: drop toxic people, guys. Fire your worst friends, fire your worst employees, fire your worst customers as well, and fire your worst gurus as well. Trust me, it's like dropping a ballast and you will start flying. As you drop toxic people, pick great role models, pick better friends. And one more very good advice, quit news and media. In the beginning, you may want to quit it completely. Later on, you can simply limit. Remember, the news are designed to make you sad, angry, and outraged. Even Twitter, many gurus, they are all about outrage. Many gurus in the manosphere as well, especially the red pill, all they do is freaking complaining. You don't need that in your brain. It's all poison. Popular one these days are complaining about the West going down, men not being the same anymore. Who the fuck cares? The West is going down. Better, easier for me and you to stand out. Men are becoming more effeminate. Fucking great. Better for me and you to stand out. Those are more empowering mindset. So drop those negative gurus, pick better ones. And a very quick note about the media, by the way, you hear the left-leaning ones criticizing Fox News, the right-wing guys laughing about CNN. Guys, they're all the fucking same. Quit them all. Once you're advanced level, it's as if you are wearing an armor. Then you can enjoy some news, but in the beginning, quit them. Aspirations. Here we have your goals, your values, and most of all, the type of character and the type of man you want to be. What can stand in the way here is having unclear or fuzzy aspirations, meaning that most people, they don't even know what they want. Often they inherit what they want from their parents or from society. And that's the issue with inauthentic or inherited. Some people have unrealistic aspirations. Remember, keep things real, make them easy for you to reach them, and they will help you with your self-esteem. And the big issue here is that they are misaligned. What they want to achieve is not aligned with their behavior. So they don't get the result they want, so they don't feel as confident. So some exercises here include goal setting, find out what you want, make sure it's realistic, make sure you can achieve it, and then align your goals with your behavior and the progress you're getting. An action plan so that you start taking action, personal visioning, which means who you want to be, and then start being that type of man. And crucial here is in aligning these three. So now we are getting to the surface, to the more conscious level. The next level is behavior. Issues with behavior for most people, it's that it's insufficient to achieve their dreams and goals. And the other one, as we mentioned, is that it's misaligned with what they want to achieve and what they're getting. At the more advanced levels, though, we have different issues. And again, I want to raise another flag, which is about fragile identities. So what happens is that a lot of people start habits that are great for them. For example, going to the gym or waking up at 4 a.m. every day. It's great to get you started. However, you don't want the habit to become your identity because it's a strong habit, but it's fragile. Think about it. If the habit becomes what you take pride on, that habit becomes your cage. You are forced to repeat the habit, or you will feel bad about yourself. That's fragile. What if you cannot wake up at 4 a.m. or go to the gym every day? You go on holiday and then you feel bad about yourself because you can't go to the gym? Fuck that. Remember, build your self-esteem on being, not on behaving. Big freaking difference. I'll give you an example with my life. I started Deep Power Moves on May of 8 years ago. From then, I worked every single day. Now I could take pride and build my identity in being a good worker, in having a Sigma grind set or all the bullshit nonsense. However, I don't. My identities are more anti-fragile. They are deeper. Tomorrow, that gives me power and freedom. That means that tomorrow I may sit on my ass all freaking day and I will not enjoy that day. However, I will still feel great about myself. I will still think I'm fucking awesome, and that's empowering. So yes, again, as a beginner, it's okay, stick to your habits, build your identity around them, but as you progress, watch out. Build your identity on who you are, no matter what you do. Much more empowering, much more freedom, much more Sigma style. Now back to the drawing board. Good exercises here are what we may call the usual suspects. So what most people advise here is great. Exercise, absolutely. Go to the gym, absolutely. Nutrition, eat well, absolutely. Quit smoking, quit drinking if you drink too much. As we said before, guys, you are not your behavior. If you quit drinking, doesn't mean you cannot drink sometimes. If you eat well, doesn't mean sometimes you are not free to eat something you enjoy, but it's not about the healthiest food. Do meaningful work. Remember to rest and play. And if I can give you another quick practical tip, quit bragging. And I will explain why. When you brag, you do it for others. Remember, you are electing others to be your judges. You don't know that clearly, but you are seeking their approval. When you quit bragging, whatever you do it for yourself. Self-esteem is the respect and thoughts you have about yourself when you are by yourself. So when you quit bragging, whatever you do, you sub-communicate to yourself that you do it for yourself. You sub-communicate that you are your own judge. When you become your own judge, you take a huge step towards becoming a top 10% confidence and self-esteem man. At the highest level, even there, you don't judge yourself at all. You're just cool being. You are who you are, no matter what you do, no matter the results you get, and you feel great about yourself. However, until you get there, do as I say, quit bragging. Now we get to the last point, results. Interestingly enough, results sometimes are not much talked about in self-help, and that is because it's politically incorrect to say that results and winning matters, but it does matter. And another reason people don't talk about it, I think, is because some gurus maybe are worried that if you don't get results with them and their programs, you're gonna blame them, and they don't want that, so it's easier to say you don't need to be a winner in life. Yeah, you don't, but if you are, it helps with confidence and self-esteem, and plus, it's good to get results. Why not? Most people here are seeking practical results. I care about achieving and delivering practical results, so it matters. Some of the sub-facets here include progress, feedback, and this is also politically incorrect, comparison. Guys, we are comparison machines. We cannot escape it. It's part of being humans. In feedback, what's particularly important is the feedback we get from other people. We are social animals, so when we feel that others do not respect us, we lose self-esteem. When we see others respect us, like us, look up to us, etc., that gives us self-esteem and confidence. Speaking of which, when we talked about character, there was a common misunderstanding here, and the misunderstanding from a very popular book on self-esteem, good book, but it spread a few of what we call naive self-help ideas. One of them is that you had to have a good character. It's not true, because some people don't care about being honorable men, so they don't lose self-esteem when they behave as POS. Some people even take pride in being assholes, so they don't lose any self-esteem when they act as assholes. If anything, they may gain. However, we still advise and recommend to be a honorable man, and the reason is that the highest feedback you can get is people looking up to you, seeing you as a role model, wanting to be more like you. And that is a lot more likely to happen when you are a honorable man. That is why, yes, it makes sense when you write down your character, choose to be a honorable man who stands for good values and upholds those values. Now, the exercises that you can do here include anything that improves your confidence and makes it more likely that you will achieve results. So in the beginning, we mentioned Power University. In Power University, we focus more on results rather than all this stuff. We mentioned this as long as it's foundational for your social results and results in general. However, people still got huge improvements in confidence because it improved the results they get in life, especially the social one. So they get more respect, they get more status, they get more attraction from women, they feel better about themselves, they grow more confident. I mentioned Power University because I'm slightly biased here, but any good course, any good training, anything you do that makes you more competent in life, good. So learning, training, strategy, and Machiavellianism. This deserves its own topic, so I'm not gonna talk much about it, but for my life, good strategy and Machiavellianism was far more important than anything else. And if I can give you another quick practical feedback, quit social media. As we said, we are comparison machines. Social media is all about bragging that I am getting better results than you are getting. As a beginner and an intermediate, that can undermine your confidence and self-esteem. Once you are more advanced, you will not care as much anymore. I am on all social media, and when I see people bragging, if anything, it makes me feel better about myself, because it reminds me that I do not need to do that kind of stuff. Speaking of which, another very politically incorrect tool that can improve your confidence is feeling superior to others. As we mentioned before, be careful, this is a double-edged sword. One, because it's fragile, because the moment you're not superior or you don't feel superior, then you lose your self-esteem, and we don't want that. Two, you can become a haughty asshole, and hopefully you don't want that. Plus, it comes with real social costs. However, there are ways of doing it that are healthy and anti-fragile. Another quick warning red flag I want to raise about results is the same we said here and here, such as some people have strong self-esteem because they got great results in life, they feel great about it. However, that is also fragile. By now, hopefully you can already see and understand why. It's because, yes, maybe you have great results, and building your self-esteem on results is better than on behavior, by the way, because you got something concrete. However, what if you lose those results? Let's take an example, a billionaire. Yes, he may feel proud because he has been so successful in business and is a life winner. However, if his business starts going south, if he loses money, or if he's not a billionaire anymore, then his self-esteem crumbles. Ideally, compare instead to a billionaire who has not built his self-esteem on his results, but more on who he is, on anti-fragile identities. That billionaire could end up under a bridge and still feel great about himself, still have high confidence, still be happy about who he is. And that, in turn, makes it far more likely that he will achieve those results back again. And finally, from here, we get to the top 10%. And just to make this a little bit tacky and tawdry, I'm gonna add there a little king. There you are, you made it, top 10%. If you follow this, I believe that top 10% is realistic for most guys. So what are the keys for the top 10%? One is to do all of this. As we mentioned, some of these are helpful to different people at different levels, at different stages. However, what is most certainly helpful to most men is doing everything and approaching it at a holistic level. And to do it in a way that is both strong, high power, and anti-fragile. If any of this gave you any good tip, we are launching a new course called Confidence University. If this was helpful at one level, Confidence University is not 10 times better, it is 100 times better. We show you the exercises clearly that are scientifically backed and that are tailored for you. So we explain what are the best exercises, we rank them, and we explain who they are useful for. So you can come up with an exercise plan that is perfectly tailored for you. You also get the mindsets and the thinking patterns of a man who has naturally high self-esteem. Finally, last but not least, not only the course is extremely valuable for a super low price, but it comes with a community, bonuses, direct access to me, and crazy enough, it comes with coaching calls as well. It's a no-brainer. With that, I think that for many guys, not only top 10%, but even top 1% is possible. Nobody's working on this, and very few people have access to such a good resource. So if you do your work, you will get good results. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and I'll see you inside. Ciao, ciao. Cheers.